Welcome to episode number 218 of the Keep Up Podcast,
where we're here to order some notes and hoes. What I say is so random, but that was based off of 2 seconds ago.
Right, it just happened.
It just happened.
Just now.
How did it happen?
Just.
It was justifiable.
Justifiably only a moment ago.
Right.
That's the Tim story.
That's the Tim way.
Justifiably only a moment ago.
The Tim tale.
By the Tim
A tale of two Tims.
A tale of two Tims.
Coming
Lost
back.
in Tim. What's the other one you always use?
Time, Tim.
Tale as old as Tim. No, there's a time.
A time that
something about Tim and time.
I know. We're talking about like my book names, right?
Yeah, there's like there's a book name Tim pun.
Yeah.
That you always also do me a favor and say book name Tim pun.
Book name Tim pun.
I don't know if it's too many consonants or what's happening
book
there.
Book name Tim pun. I don't know. It's not hard to say.
No, but it feels like
it feels wrong.
Yeah, right. Like my brain knows.
It sounds like
words,
we're swearing.
Yeah. Like the words don't belong together.
Book name Tim pun. What'd you call me?
Some part of my body is like, no,
you
don't put those all
those
in one
aren't
place.
Right. What is the other one?
Because it's kind of uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, what we're talking about. Yeah.
No.
What? My book title?
The book title that you always say.
It's uncomfortable?
Yeah, like you say it and I'm like,
Tim's coming to kill you. I don't know.
No, it's like a something like a I'm so angry.
I don't know what
anyways, welcome to the Keep Up Podcast where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
I think that's me.
And we talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food.
I don't know who I am anymore.
And we can't keep up, folks.
We can't.
It's called the Keep Up because we can't.
Because we can't. Isn't that weird? We name it.
It is weird.
We name it after the thing where we can't do. But we're trying.
Right. It's the journey.
Right. We are always trying to keep up.
Exactly.
And we're doing okay in certain things. Sometimes.
The other day I was thinking, should we change our whole platform to only consume things that...
I thought you were going to say to OnlyFans.
Should we... Are there podcasts on OnlyFans
We
yet?
could be the only OnlyFans podcast.
The only OnlyFans podcast.
Right.
Wow. Maybe that's genius.
Can you... I mean, I don't know how OnlyFans works.
Instead of Patreon, we just use OnlyFans as our platform.
As our Patreon. Right.
So you have to subscribe to get the podcast.
Can you submit audio on OnlyFans?
We're going to have to do video, man.
Yeah, okay.
That's the big transition.
That is.
That's what you're paying for.
No!
Oh, we might have to do it. Oh. This might be brilliant.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Finally, our big break.
OnlyFans. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Oh, I had a thought the other day, which I think it would work, but I don't think we could stick to it, is like, what if on the podcast we only discussed things that came out that year? You know what I mean? So, because it's like, what can we keep up with that came out this year? Because that's always my problem is I go back and I'm like, oh, you know what? I should watch every John Carpenter movie, even though like the first one came out 50 years ago.
Right.
And it's a huge list.
Oh. And you got so much junk to sift through. Like, not everyone's going to be a hit.
Exactly. Like, I did that with Stephen King. I didn't watch, like, any of them, but I, like, pulled up a list and was like, yep, all right, here we go. All right, here's a chronological list. I'll start in the 70s and work my way through. Like,
dude, the worst era in film.
Tim's least favorite era. So I always do that. So I was like, maybe our podcast, maybe it should just be, like, people recommend stuff from this year.
Oh, change the whole format?
Not the whole format. It's the same, but like we only talk about stuff.
Dude,
that
there's
came out
no
this
way.
Year. It'll never happen.
There's no way.
It'll never happen. I only bring it up to say it'll never happen.
We could do that for like a special.
A special for sure.
Or just like, you know.
Even an annual special.
Yeah.
Would be cool.
To be like, end of the year, like, here's the things that we
recommend things that only came out this year. Recommend only things that came out this year.
One more time.
Anything that came out this year obviously only came out this year.
Right.
Although, if a remake came out, did it also come out this year or did it only come out this year? Because it's a remake.
only came out this year. Because I think it depends if the remake, how closely it relates to the original.
Right.
I don't think, really, if it's a one-to-one shot.
But even
modern.
a remaster. What if a remaster
I wouldn't
comes
count
out
a
this year?
like Jaws. We recently saw that in the theaters.
We did.
Remastered.
Was it?
Yeah, I guess it was. Because
I guess it was 3D.
Yeah, which I don't think it's done that before. I think it said first time ever. At least in IMAX. I don't know about 3D, but I wouldn't consider that a new release.
But when did it come out?
Technically this year.
Only this year.
Yeah. Wow. Only.
So a special, maybe an annual special.
Yeah. Annual special.
Listen, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only, 7 years deep?
7 years deep into the podcast?
Yeah.
I think so.
Time to start figuring this stuff out.
Only 7 years deep?
I don't know. I think we started the YouTube channel that we have only used sparsely.
We were pretty
like
good
7
for a
years
couple
ago.
years.
We were, yeah. And then things got all wacky and
life, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of life,
Yeah.
can I tell my tale of the PC from hell?
Yes.
Building it. I have not talked about it on the podcast yet.
That's right.
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah, tell the tale.
Dude, I just want to go home.
I feel bad that you're about to relive it because I was watching it in your Instagram stories.
I was trying to keep people updated because it was a mess.
Yeah, I'm sure all you could do was vent about it.
Oh, that's it. That's all I could do. So to get the story, let's start at the beginning.
Let's
right?
wrap it up, Tim. Let's wrap it.
Let's end it already. So, I've had a crappy PC for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's not crappy, but it came out, I got it, I think, 2014, 2015.
Okay.
And at the time, it was about mid-tier. So it could, barely run games okay at the time.
Whack.
It was a gaming PC, and it could run stuff, but it just wasn't the best.
Right.
So I've been using that computer to stream and just whatever else I decide to do game with it for the past couple of years. And I stumbled upon a Discord group that I've been in for a while, but someone was selling a new motherboard. New motherboard and a new CPU.
Need those.
I need those, yes, too. That's the heart and soul of the PC.
Yeah.
So he was selling it for really cheap. And so I bought it and intended to just put it in my computer that I have now.
Sure.
Wasn't compatible with any of the things I had.
Okay.
So to use it, I would have to buy everything to build myself a brand new PC.
Okay.
Which at that point, I was like, okay, I have the motherboard, I have the CPU, which can be pretty pricey. The CPU especially.
Yeah.
That's something that you need and that can be expensive.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, okay, I've already saved money by getting this stuff real cheap. So I can use that saved money to purchase better parts, like maybe a little bit more expensive parts to build my PC.
Rational.
That was the idea anyways. So I bought all these parts.
Yeah.
Got everything all set up for it. I've never built a PC before.
Right.
My first PC was pre-built. And so I was excited. I was nervous because I was like, it's going to be hard. I hear these are terrible.
Yeah.
And I thought I was good. So I ordered my parts 3 weeks ago at this point now. I think it was 3 weeks ago on a Sunday. And the parts were supposed to be here by Wednesday.
I hate how these days are etched in your brain.
Oh yeah, it's just like it's the chronological order of hell. But so I ordered the parts on Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday rolls around and all of my parts got canceled because they thought my account was being hacked.
Sad.
So,
but it was just your orders?
It was just my orders, but I haven't used that account in like 5 years because I think that was the same account I used to buy my old PC in like 2015.
It's strictly your PC account.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're like, someone's doing something on here because I bought a bunch of parts. There's a couple $100 of parts that I was buying, and I was like, I mean, I guess it's cool because they were like, someone's stealing your stuff. But it was me. It was going to my house, my address, all that stuff. Anyways, but for whatever reason, they still sent 2 parts, kept 2, or canceled 2. I don't know why. But they canceled it, but still sent it. I don't know. I still got charged. But anyway, so I had to fix those parts, and that delayed them by 2 days. So I had to wait for those other 2 parts to come in on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm building up all week on stream. I'm like, okay, I got to take Friday off. I'm building my PC. We got everything for it. I just got to do it.
And for anyone who doesn't know, you're a full-time streamer.
Yes.
So
full-time streamer.
Days are going by.
Yes.
Your motherboard comes in, you can't use it. You order these parts, they think it's a thief, and they reward them for their efforts, but don't send all the parts. Now
you're like, I like what you did. Here, have a couple things. We'll keep the rest. Though.
Right. So now you're like, you're waiting till Friday at this point?
Yeah, so my computer is still good at this point. So I'm still able to stream
Oh, okay, all
at
right.
this point. So nothing has gone wrong yet.
right.
Just waiting for these parts.
Just waiting.
So Friday rolls around, and Friday is torturous because Mom asked me to help her on the ice cream truck, and
that's right.
The last part I needed was a power supply. So this, is electric and everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on the ice cream truck from like 9. We were supposed to be home at like 2:30 or 3. We didn't get home till 5:30.
Oh, rough.
Which sucks because the package arrived at I think like 1 or 2. So by the time we'd be getting home, the package is right there. Also, just to throw in a little spice,
sure.
It's raining all day, and the package was left out in the rain for
that's
hours. For hours,
That's
and this
so
is the power
unfortunate.
supply, so getting it wet is like the thing you don't want.
Yeah, you don't want
So
that.
I am freaking out on the ice cream truck. I am so livid that this package is sitting in the pouring rain. Granted, we have an open garage that they could put the package in, and they left it at the front door.
Perfect.
So
The garage was open?
The garage was open.
Amazing.
Yep. So they just left it on the front steps. It wasn't raining when they left it. That's the thing. But I feel like if you're a delivery person,
Yeah.
you should know how
you
the
have
weather
the
is.
option.
Yeah. Throw it in the garage.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know? What do I know?
Who knows, Brett?
Who knows what I know?
I know what you know.
You do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we get home. I'm dying, chomping at the bits to start building this PC. The computer tower that I ordered,
Yeah.
I open it, I lay it on the table, I put the motherboard in. It's too small. I bought a micro tower. There are two.
The tower is too small.
There are two types of towers. There's a micro and then a normal tower. So I bought the wrong tower, which made me livid because now I had to wait multiple days and had to order a new tower on top of I had to wait and I wasn't going to wait for the refund. Because
sure.
For the other tower because I had all the parts here. I'm dying to do it.
Right, get it done.
Get it done. So, in my I wouldn't say rage, but in my blind fury to build this PC.
Yeah, not rage, but blind fury.
I don't know what else to call it. Just blind, I don't know.
Determination,
Yeah. Maybe. So I thought I grab the motherboard.
Yeah.
I take my old PC, which at this point I had to take one part out of the old PC, my hard drive. So my old PC was like sitting here on the table. I actually had the table set up. This is where I built it. And so I had it sitting right here because I already pulled out the hard drive.
Yeah.
So I laid the tower down and laid the motherboard inside it. And I was like, oh, this actually fits. When I did my initial check, I didn't think it was going to fit. So that's why I ordered the tower.
Right.
So it fit. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I spend the next 2 hours dismantling that, pulling out the motherboard.
Your original computer.
My original computer. Which was kind of cool because I learned how to dismantle a computer and got to learn how to build backwards. So like how I dismantled it, I was like, okay, so I can do this in reverse order.
Yeah.
Like I learned from it.
We love learning at the Keep Up Podcast.
Learning is very important.
Yes.
So I put the motherboard in. And then the worst, hands down, the worst part in my computer that to this day, every morning I wake up tempted to just rip it out of my computer because I hate it so much. It is it's called an AIO CPU cooler.
Okay.
And the AIO means all in one, and it's a liquid pump. And what it does is there's cold liquid that goes back and forth through the pump itself and keeps the CPU cold because the cold liquid will sit in there and then get sucked out, and it's like an endless loop. Not sure how it works.
Sciencey.
Yeah, it's science.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool. It's like, seems like a cool way to keep my stuff cool. So I
was that a bunch of puns?
it was just it's madness. So after putting in the motherboard, getting it all set up, I put in the cooler. And the cooler part sits on the CPU fine, but there are these gigantic fans on the side that need to go on the computer, and they didn't fit in my tower. The fans were too big.
Is that like the last component?
No, so that was the second one. That was so I did that very early on.
Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah, so I didn't do anything else at that point.
Yeah.
So it didn't fit in my computer. So not only did I dismantle my whole computer, I couldn't use the computer because it was dismantled, and I couldn't fit the new PC parts in there. So now I'm stuck waiting days for the new tower to come in.
So you have your original tower, which is now dismantled.
Yeah.
The new tower, which is a micro tower that you haven't been refunded for and you can't use.
Right.
And now you're waiting for a new one.
I went on Amazon and ordered a specific computer or a specific tower that I guess works with mine.
This is brutal.
So waiting already killing me. And now I'm at a point, my plan was whether or not I had my computer built on Friday, I would still be able to stream because my PC was fine.
Sure.
I could just plug the hard drive back in and go streaming. Now I can't stream. Now I've ruined my work. So Sunday rolls around and the tower comes in.
Sure.
I get everything set up again.
Fantastic.
The fans fit perfectly. I'm like, cool. So I lean the cooler on it. And it turns out that there is a bracket on the back of the motherboard that needs to be attached so the cooler can attach to it.
Okay.
The parts that are and I forgot to mention the cooler came from the same guy who sent us the motherboard.
Okay.
He was selling the cooler as well as a separate thing. He added it on after. He was just like, you know what? $50, take the cooler. I'm like, sure, $50. Thanks, pal.
What a guy.
So he didn't send me the bracket.
Fantastic.
So I have to message him and be like, hey, do you happen to see a bracket anywhere where this can connect to?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, let me check. Finds it. I'm like, cool. He's like, okay, it'll be there Tuesday. I'm like, cool. So now 2 more days of waiting to get this one bracket. I connect the bracket.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. Connect the CPU cooler. Wrong screws. He sends me the screws that go to a different bracket if you're building it on a different motherboard.
What?
Even worse, he can't find the screws. He doesn't have the screws anywhere. So now I'm trying to find these screws that I don't even know exist outside of this cooler.
Yeah.
Because
they might be exclusive to that or specific to that
So I went to 2 PC parts stores to find these screws, and we couldn't find it. So I had to order an extra pack online of all the parts, not another like whole set, but they're replacement parts. So it had the bracket on the back, it had the screws. So I got all that stuff, and finally I can start building my PC. And dude, it has just been nothing but a nightmare.
That
the
is
parts,
brutal.
the things weren't working. I had to find specific screws. It was seriously not worth it. It was such a nightmare. But this one guy caused me almost a week worth of trouble.
Yeah.
Because he sent me the bracket. And also, I forgot to mention, he failed to send me a manual. So I'm here building a computer without knowing what connects to the motherboard. And I didn't know that until like 3 hours in, and I texted Barry. I was like, hey, what do I do with this wire? How do I do this? And he was like, do you have the manual? And I was like, well, he sent like, it's a quick build or a quick setup guide.
Okay.
And so those, if for whoever like hasn't built anything, they have 2 guides. There's the like detailed manual and then the quick startup guide.
It's just like little pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's pictures, and it's like, but they're not detailed. They're just like, this is how it would go. Like if you know how to build a PC, here's what you need to know.
Sure. Okay.
So he sent me the quick guide, not the full manual. So Barry pointed out that I did not have it, and I was like, what do you mean? So we found it online, thankfully. We found
You did? Okay.
full PDF of it.
The internet saves the day again.
Dude, it made my life 1,000 times better. I could not describe to you how relieved I felt.
The manual?
Yeah, because I was going in so blind. I was struggling so much.
Blind fury.
Yeah, a blind fury. So yeah, I just went, it was just day after day after day of waiting and getting the wrong parts. And this one guy just screwed me over so bad. If I didn't buy the parts from him, granted, if I didn't buy that stuff from him, I probably wouldn't have built the PC.
So what did it end up being worth it financially speaking? Like, did you get a good deal on that stuff? Or would it have been less of a headache to just buy that stuff elsewhere?
I had to compare. I don't know actually what the parts I got go for.
Yeah.
Like retail, like if I were to get them.
Because I know there was a crazy shortage for a while. Like
Yes.
you couldn't even get parts, let alone get them for a decent price.
Yep, for very specific stuff. And well, not just specific stuff, a lot of like important stuff. So I didn't even consider building a new PC because again, mine was working. It wasn't great, mind you. It definitely had its problems. But building the PC was just like,
dude, that is madness.
Oh, and not being able to stream for a week, I literally was so hyper focused on how I was going to fix it and build this computer, I couldn't even relax.
Right.
I was playing games and my brain was just running and running and running.
Did you have were you like, I could be streaming this right now? Like, was that happening to you?
Not necessarily, because the games I was playing were just like random ones I was picking up, but because I was so just like distraught and angry, and because even when I got the parts, I had no idea what I was going to do next. I'm like, I'm hoping that the parts work, and if they didn't, I was like, okay, what do I need to find to get this to work?
Yeah.
So from the tower to the brackets to the screws to just all of it not working. Gosh. It was just like days. But the waiting killed me the most.
That's the worst.
Having to wait 2 days in between each attempt at building it. So all in all, it took me about 12 hours to build the PC. 12 hours of work. Because again, I went in so blind that it took me like hours to dismantle stuff, to figure out what goes where, to... it was such a pain.
And I was here the Thursday night before you went on the truck.
Yes.
And when you found out you were going to work on the truck, and you were not stoked about that. And
not.
then I saw your stories the next day.
Yep.
Like, the power source is sitting at home right now.
Sitting in the rain.
In the rain.
Oh.
Dude, what a crazy... Now, I will say, I popped into your stream the other day. Everything looked awesome.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Are you stoked about it now that it's done?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has, like... it pretty much is the difference between standard definition and HD.
Okay.
It is.
It looked great even on stream, and like,
yeah,
I've never thought your streams didn't look good.
Yeah, but once you so before I was pushing my streams to 1080, but my bit rate was super low. Which essentially the bit rate is, you know how videos buffer and they'll get like all poppy? The lower your bit rate, you can still have things at 1080p, but it'll just be poppy. So, and everything will just look like fuzzy.
Yeah.
So my streams before, they still looked fine because I pushed them at 1080p.
Sure.
But the bit rate beta look not as good. But now I can push it to 1080p 60 frames and the bit rate's up to 6,000. So
love that for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's amazing the things I can do and the upgrades, but God, I'll never do it again. This will be the last PC I build in my life ever. I'm gonna keep just Frankensteining new parts
That's
into
the
it.
move.
But God, it was just a hassle, and it's a scary process too. Like the pins and the wires and like. It is very, very delicate.
Dude, I know from like repairing computers and phones and stuff like that. Like you hear one thing go like click or something like that, and you're like, what did I just do?
What did I break?
Yeah, like a spring or a bracket moves the wrong way, and you're like, I just destroyed everything.
One hair, one little particle of dust.
Dude, it's the worst.
Seriously. So I had no confidence. After I built it, I had no confidence it was going to work.
It was even going to work, yeah.
So I turned it on, and it worked flawlessly. There was no issues.
Heck yeah, dude.
So yeah, I guess, long story short, if you think about building a PC, don't.
Just send it to Tim. He'll do it for you.
Oh, God. Please.
So
no, have someone build it for you. I mean, if you're really like deep into the tech side and like really want to build a PC, I guess. I mean, what I can do now is incredible. Like
that's cool.
But I feel like I could just get a pre-built PC with the stuff I have in there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a like if you'll benefit, like you want to learn and you're not under any kind of time crunch, like maybe do it.
Yeah. Make it like a side project. And if you stream full time, don't dismantle your computer.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. But I mean, overall I did save money, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh, good.
I saved
that was the question. Where was that answer a couple minutes ago?
I don't know. I just I'm just stressed.
You're like, well, I'd have to do weeks of research to answer that question.
But I
Brett,
mean, like I saved money because the parts I bought were cheaper, and I had some things that I could already put in from my own computer. So
well, that's good.
But I don't know exactly how much I saved. Just,
I don't think I'll be building my own when I get a PC.
No, I mean, if you're doing it, I'll help. But I'll watch from a distance and direct.
I don't know if I want to get you involved. I'm scared of your blind fury.
But all that to say, my life feels good.
That's
I was
good.
stressed. I felt like I was losing my hair.
It was the most stress I'd seen you in a while.
Dude.
I could even see your rage through the stories.
Yeah. People are really invested in it, though. They're like, what's going on with the PC? I'm like, I want to die.
Dude, Mom texted me about something. I was like, how's Tim doing? I was like, is he all right?
Is he alive?
That's crazy.
So, it's been a couple days. I started streaming Tuesday.
Yep.
And that stream was just beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We had a couple hiccups, but
happens, dude.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you're up and running.
Thank
if you
you.
don't, everyone should follow Tim at Collection Revolution on Instagram and on twitch.tv/Collection Revolution. He's on TikTok as well.
Yeah. Where are they going to follow you to watch your streams, Brett?
Brett in the Dark, if you want. Also on Instagram at Brett in the Dark.
And you've been streaming a lot recently.
I have, yeah. It's been fun.
Finished Infernax the other day.
Yeah, dude. I finished Infernax. I went back to... we can talk about it more in video games too, but I went back to try to get like multiple endings, and I couldn't do it.
Infernax is hard.
But
I want you to do that final dungeon.
Which one?
Not the secret one. There's another...
There's another one?
There's another one.
The one where you get the guy the book? Or is that
No. Did you go in that dungeon?
Which one?
That was the one that while you were streaming, I said, go in that one. That's the secret one. And there should be. I thought there was a book in there.
No. I
Where you
think
get the
that's
last
the
weapon.
I think that's where the Necronomicon is.
Right.
I couldn't get in there because I kept going back to this knight who wouldn't give me a quest.
Right. So there's another quest you need to do.
I couldn't find it.
It's somewhere. But after
right.
you do all that, there's 100% ending quest.
But then what happened is I burned down all the villages.
Yep.
And then I finished the game. Like I beat the last
you
boss
burned
again.
down the villages?
After I got the good ending.
Oh, okay.
I went back,
Yeah.
and it brought me back to my save. I burned down all the villages, tried to get the bad ending, and still didn't give it to me.
Did you get the neutral?
No.
No. Okay, so you're probably just too good.
But it saved all of the fact that I burned the villages. So I'm going to have to replay it anyways. But I feel like it's fast once you know it. But isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It saves after you beat the boss, but it still brings, like, the final boss.
Yeah, right.
But it brings you back to your save. It brings you back to your save right before you beat the final boss. But if you look at your quests, it showed that I beat. Because what happened is I found someone that I thought was the quest I was looking for. And the guy was like, "Oh, you burned down all the villages without us even asking." And I was like, "What?" That was my last save.
Yeah.
And I looked, and sure enough, so it saved that. But so I don't know. I might play it again and just try. It's fine.
That sucks though.
I know, but it's a great game.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can tie that into a little story here I have, Tim.
Okay.
I want you to know that you're looking at a hero.
A hero?
Yeah.
Where are we going then?
You're no, I'm just telling you I am a hero.
You're a hero. What did you do?
So on the way here,
yes.
It's actually kind of terrifying in retrospect. I was driving here, and there was a car like in front of me. I'm on the highway, in front to the right, and she's like swerving a little bit, and then like back into her lane.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, they were looking at their phone or whatever. It happens.
Yeah.
I drive past them, not really paying attention, listening to very loud music, and all of a sudden they come around from the left side and they go in front of me, no directional, pretty close to my bumper, but like whatever. I don't really get spooked on the road too much. I'm like, whatever. So I'm watching, and they pull ahead of me, and after they swerved in front of me, they like level out for a minute, and then just like a ship in the wind go into the lane to their right, like halfway, and then correct themselves.
What are they doing?
Like, all right, I mean, that's a little much.
Yeah.
So I back off a little bit because
I would be.
I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And I can't get eyes on the driver. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, is this person falling asleep? Like, I saw her when she passed me on the right, but it wasn't any, like, it didn't look like she was passing out. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I back off a little bit, and we probably drive, like, another quarter mile, and she got way ahead of me, but I'm still keeping eyes because I'm like, there's relatively, like, a good amount of cars on the road, so... Like, she could crash. It could be a Final Destination situation. Right. I don't know what's going to happen. Ugh. So I'm keeping eyes, and I watch up ahead of me. She's 2 lanes from the left, right? And there's one car on her left that backs up, and she, like, pulls in front of them without a directional and goes all the way to the rumble strip off the road.
Oh, my God.
And, like, I see, like, all the dust getting kicked up, and then she, like, corrects really slowly, goes 2 lanes over, comes back, and then I see all the cars around her start to, like, slow down and, like, pan out.
Yeah.
So I start thinking, I'm like, do you, like, call the police?
Right,
like,
what do you do there?
Because I'm thinking, I'm going through it in my head, and this is, what's so annoying is... the human, at least my brain, can get self-conscious about the weirdest things. So I'm like, all right, I'm like calculating it in my head. I'm like, all right, this person could kill themselves and people around them. Is this the wrong time to call the police and bother them?
That's what you were thinking?
Yeah, I'm like, do I call 9? No, you know what it was? I was like, because I was like, okay, if I call someone, they can we hadn't passed any cops, and we're like multiple exits, like miles and miles. I've been behind this person at this point. And I'm like, shoot, like, we haven't passed anyone. I could at least get someone out here and be like, yo, this person's going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And meantime, I'm watching them, and they're literally like all over the road, like
swerving.
across 3 lanes, cars backing up like wild. It definitely looks like this person's like dozing off.
Yeah.
So I was like,
and it's not that late when you were driving here.
No, dude, it was like 5:30. So I'm like, I don't know who to call. Like, do I look up local police? Is this... The main thing is, like, calling 911 is terrifying to me because I only ever did it as a kid to see if it worked. And they call back right away.
They do.
Because they're like, yo, some kid called us who's dead. And mom's like, it's just my idiot son. Like, don't worry about it. Which I can't imagine how many of those calls they get.
Oh, my God.
So I called 911.
Yep.
And I was like, hey. And they were like, what's your emergency? And I'm that's scary to hear. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm on.
It's like here we go.
Yeah, I'm like picturing documentary shows that like play the 911 call.
Yep.
And they like ask for your name and everything. And I'm like, never mind. I don't want to be involved. I'm scared.
Please, I'm terrified. The phone's scary to begin with. I don't like calling anybody.
Dude, and then she like, so I told her what's up. I'm like, hey, there's this car. It's like swerving all over the place. This is where I am. Here's the mile marker. I'm near exit 3.
Sounds like you did everything right.
And then she's like, all right, hang on. Let me transfer you to local police. And then they keep me on the line and they're like, hey, local police department, blah, 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 whatever. Numbers, this is dispatch number, whatever. I got the caller on the line. What's happening is there's a car swerving from lane to lane. And they told me all the mark. And then they're like, caller's on the line. Thanks. They hang up. New police dispatch is like, hi, caller. I'm like, yeah.
That's me.
They're like, hey, what's going on? And so I explain it and they're like, you're seeing a black sedan? I'm like, yeah, it's a black sedan. It's like becomes this interview.
Yeah. I know, because like it's stressful. It's like a pop quiz.
It was.
Even though you have all the answers in front of you.
Right. Plus I'm driving.
Yep.
And the other funny thing was like, do you know the license plate? And I was like, no, it was a vanity plate. I remember it. And I'm like, I am a superhuman.
I am a hero.
So I gave them the license plate.
And
that was it. I was on my way. Came to record the podcast.
That's it. You left, dude.
So yeah, I had to get off the exit, dude.
So are you truly a hero?
I'm a hero.
Okay.
I did everything I could.
You did it right.
What was I supposed to do?
No, you hit her. You were supposed to hit her off the road.
In retrospect, the scary part is
not to kill her, but to stop her from killing herself.
I pull up next door. Well, that's what's scary is when she pulled in front of me, I was like, man, she's just not like paying a ton of attention, whatever. She could have killed me.
She could have.
If she was all over the place.
Yep.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I wonder what her deal was. I wonder if she was sleepy, if she was drunk.
She's sweet.
Do you think it was drunk like driving, or you feel like she would have been more?
I know Thirsty Thursday is a thing, but it's real early.
Real early.
Yeah.
It is post work. Like everyone gets out of work at 5, right? 5:30.
Yeah, but would she crank back 20 shots in 20 minutes?
Well, not drunk. I was thinking maybe sleepy.
Oh.
After having to wake up so early for work. I don't know. But yeah, I think you did your duty.
Luckily, everybody's safe because
at least you hope.
No, I mean I did it.
Yeah, you did. You did your duty.
Everything is awesome. Everyone is safe.
You'll
as I called
keep your eyes on the news just to see, not for death, but just like the story.
I know. What if I do see like something terrible happen? I'm like, I could have done more.
What could you have done?
There were probably. I bet
you would have followed her until she hit someone. That would have been it. Because like what? Right?
Okay.
Like,
so the other part of me was like, do I follow her until she crashes just so I can like
so you can be there?
Like if it's gonna happen?
Yeah, the morbid curiosity.
There's definitely a moment where I felt myself speeding up because I was losing sight, and I was like, I'm literally only doing this because if she gets in an accident, I want to see it.
You want to see it? Yeah.
I'm not like what else am I doing? Like it's subconscious.
Yeah.
I'm not being. I don't think maybe I'm a psychopath. I don't know.
Like, I want to see.
But I'm like, what do I think I'm doing? Like, I better keep eyes on her or else she's going to crash. Like, that's not how it works.
No, but I think you're in the situation. So you got to make sure you're aware of everything going on.
You got to make sure.
Seeing how she is. I'm surprised you pulled off to come here. I would have said keep going.
You would have kept with it?
Well, yeah, to see, I guess, the results.
But dude, you know how long it takes to get back to this exit once you pass it?
That's true.
It's brutal.
But I don't know.
I bet it was me and 20 other people calling. They were like,
yeah,
probably, we know.
We know. Yeah, because they didn't keep you on to keep following. Because I know one time, I think it might have been Uncle, and they were watching someone like swerve all over the road, and the cops had them follow them for a very long time.
I think I might have been in the car for that.
You might have been. I don't know. I've heard that story before.
There was someone next to us that was legit like falling asleep. Like you saw them fall into their steering wheel and then like wake up. And then and the car would like go with them, like as they're sleeping, like falling asleep into the steering wheel, they would speed up to the bumper of the car in front of them, and then they'd wake up and they'd like pull back.
Oh my god!
It was terrifying to watch. And I remember, I want to say Uncle was driving and Mom called it in or something. But, anyways, the day is saved.
You are a hero.
You're welcome. What are we talking about?
Since we're talking heroes, let's go to TV.
Okay.